Here we're going to see how to download IRS forms off of their website. First, you need to get to their website. The address is www.irs.gov. You can also, of course, put the IRS website address into your favorites and it'll be right on your toolbar, and that'll be that much quicker. Once you get to the IRS homepage, as we see here, there are a number of forms that you can just go straight and click to. Here's the Forms and Publications, which they call pubs, section, and if you want one of these, you simply have to click on it. So here is a 1040. I can click on it and it will bring it up onto my screen. Also notice there's a purple bar up above that says please fill out the following form. You can save data typed onto this form. And so wherever this light blue stuff is, I can click there and type on there. I can type names, addresses, numbers into the number lines. These forms do not add, subtract, multiply, divide, or calculate anything for you. This is simply a typing sort of thing where you have to know all your information before you get onto the form, and you type it on here, and then you can save it. Once you save it, it is saved as a PDF form, and you cannot then bring up the PDF form and alter it again. So you have to have it exactly the way you want it, every single number, every single everything, before you go ahead and save it. You can print out this form. You can not type on it, and you can just go ahead and say print, and this print will print out a blank 1040, and you could handwrite onto it if you wanted to do that. For class, you can, sometimes I do tell you that I want you to type on the form and then bring me the typed one after you print it out, or I sometimes just say, well, just print out the form and you can handwrite on it, or just bring the blank form or whatever to class. For those of you in the online section, you will either type on it, save it as a PDF, and upload that onto Campus Cruiser, or you can print out the form, either typed on or not. If it's not typed on and you want to hand write on it, that's fine. And then you'll have to scan it in a scanner and attach that as to the email, or upload it to Campus Cruiser at that point. Let's say that one of the forms you want is not necessarily easily findable right on this little list. You can click Forms and Pubs, and then they give you the choice of current forms or prior year forms, and you could click on current forms. There's a million forms here and lots of pages of forms, so you don't want to have to go page by page. You're going to use the search box. And so if I wanted, in this case, a Schedule C, I would type in Schedule C, and every type of Schedule C that there is comes up. So there's a Schedule C that goes with the Form 1040, a Schedule CEZ that goes with the Form 1040, a Schedule C that goes with the 1065, which is a partnership return, and a Schedule C that goes with Form 5713. And we in this class are working on individual tax returns, so we'll be working with the 1040. There may be instances where CEZ will work for you if it's a really small business, and we'll go over, when we get to self-employed people, we'll go over what the rules are to be able to use a CEZ. It's a very simple little form, but not all businesses can use it. And otherwise, you have to use the full Schedule C. And so you would click on this Form 1040 Schedule C if that's what you want. Again, it brings it up. Again, you see in the purple bar that you can save this, and you would type on it whatever you wanted to type and then just go ahead and save it. Also notice that there's something called INST 1040. INST stands for instructions. So if you wanted the instructions that are specifically for the Schedule C, and you will need those when we get to that point in time because we need to look up a code. So you would just click on that and then you could find your code in the Schedule C instructions. One thing you're going to need for class is the actual instruction booklet for the 1040. And I do not allow you to bring your text into the test, but you are allowed to bring this 1040 instruction booklet in. And it would be helpful if you print out the entire thing. You can take notes, put little sticky notes in there, and that would be very helpful for you when it comes time to projects and tests, etc. At the very minimum, you're going to want to type out the tax tables from the instructions. So if I click on the instructions, I can go down and there is a page of the table of contents, and they have the pages linked. So if I want to know what do I need to do to assemble my return, I can click on that. It brings me right to that page. Now, I did say that one of the things that you're going to definitely need is the tax tables. And there's two things that look like tax tables in here. One says Earned Income Credit Table. It says this is not a tax table. Okay, so you're going to need that when we get to calculating out earned income credit. You will need this earned income credit table. But the regular tax table, which you will be needing for every single exam, is farther on down in the instructions and looks ever so slightly different. Here we go with the actual start of the tax table, and it says tax table right on it, and on every page of the tax table it says right at the top tax table. And so you would look, if you had taxable income of 500, you would be able to look under this tax table in the 6,000 bracket area, and here's where it's at least 6,500, and you would go across to whatever filing status that is. And there is another YouTube video regarding, or a PowerPoint regarding calculation of taxes. Another thing the instruction booklet is good for is worksheets. And so there's a various, here's a qualified dividends and capital gain tax worksheet. We'll be working with this worksheet when we get to Chapter 2. And so here's the worksheet right here in your IRS instruction booklets. You can print this out by saying print. Now you can't type on this like you could on forms, but you can press print the current page, and it would just print out just this one page, and you would be able to handwrite and calculate out whether or not you get to pay a smaller tax because of your qualified dividends or capital gain situation that you have for that particular problem. There's various other worksheets in this instruction booklet as well, and we'll be using those in class. So it's very helpful to have the whole instruction booklet, But if not, you're going to want to at least be able to print out the tax tables and some of these worksheets for yourself as we get to them. There's also, you can get to publications. Sometimes on an in-depth topic, the IRS has an entire extra separate thing that doesn't just have a little bit of instructions, but has got lots of instructions. They call that a publication. And they like for you to put in not the whole word publication, but PUBL. So PUBL 970, for example, is tax benefits for education. So this includes all the different things that students would be able to do as far as getting deductions or credits on their tax return related to being a student, college student. Okay, and so then you would just click on that publication and that would bring it up and you could read whatever you wanted out of that publication. You can also look up things. In this case, I knew that publication 970 was tax benefits for education. If you don't know the actual number of the thing you want, you could know the title and look it up that way. Okay? Otherwise, you would have to look up, research some to find out either what the name of that form is or what the number of that form is before you just put it in this search box. Although for this class you do not need prior year forms, just so that you know, you can click on prior year forms, and if I put in 1040 in here, here's the form 1040 for 2014, and then there's the form and the instructions for 2013. Here's form 1040 and the instructions for 2012, 2011, etc. on down, and you can see, you know, they go down back quite a few years and there's even more pages. So you can get old forms that you need if you know of somebody that you need to help them file a tax return from a previous year. This concludes downloading IRS tax forms.